They've been selling you a lie for years. It's in every commercial, every late-night ad, every brightly colored bottle tucked away behind the pharmacy counter. They promise you strength. They promise confidence. They promise that within seconds, you'll feel like the man you once were. But what they never tell you, what they can't tell you, is that real vitality doesn't come in seconds. It doesn't come from a pill. It doesn't even come from some secret formula tucked away in a jungle plant. No, it comes from something far more powerful. Your body remembering how to be alive again. I've been a doctor for over 30 years, and I've sat across from thousands of men, most of them in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. And I can tell you something with quiet certainty. Beneath the weariness, the frustration, the quiet embarrassment they carry, there's still fire. It's just buried under years of stress, bad habits, and silent resignation. Most of them don't even talk about it until I ask the right question. And even then, it comes out carefully, like they're testing whether I'll judge them or just nod with understanding. That's when they finally admit it, not just the physical part, but the part that aches a little deeper. Doc, they'll say, I just don't feel like myself anymore. I want to tell you about a man named Raymond. He's 62, tall guy, used to work with his hands, raised 2 boys, and didn't complain much about anything. Until his silence started to carry a different weight. When he finally came to see me, he didn't talk about fatigue or intimacy. Not at first. He just said, I'm tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. That caught my ear. We talked. We peeled back the layers. And eventually his words came out slow and low, like they'd been rehearsed 100 times in his head. I can't look my wife in the eye some mornings, he said. She hasn't said a word, but I can feel it. I feel small. Now listen to me. This wasn't a man who'd given up. He just didn't know where to begin. He'd tried the pills. He'd ordered the powders, watched the videos, read the blogs. One thing would work for a few days, then fade. Another thing made his heart race. One supplement gave him headaches, and none of it, not one, gave him back what he really wanted, the confidence to feel like himself again. So I asked him something I ask all my patients eventually. Are you ready to stop chasing quick fixes and start rebuilding your foundation? He nodded. That's when the real work began. Now, before I tell you what changed Raymond's mornings and his marriage, I want you to understand why this is happening in the first place. Because if you don't understand why, you'll keep falling for false solutions. Here's the truth. Your body is an orchestra, and for decades, it's played a powerful symphony. Blood vessels, nerves, hormones, all working in harmony. But as we get older, that symphony starts to lose its rhythm. Not because you're broken, but because certain instruments, like testosterone, nitric oxide, dopamine, start to get drowned out. The blood vessels that once opened freely, they stiffen. The nerves that fired strong signals, they flicker. The hormonal drive that once surged like a tide, it trickles. And worst of all, most men think this decline is inevitable, irreversible, and shameful. It's not. Imagine a garden hose. When you were younger, the water flowed easily. Full pressure, no leaks, flexible tubing. But over time, the hose kinks. The inside gets dry. Maybe some calcium builds up. The pressure's still there. The faucet still works. But what comes out is a trickle. That's your body right now. And what you need isn't a brand new hose. You just need to restore the flow. So let's come back to Raymond. I gave him what he now jokingly calls his magical potion, though there's nothing magical about it. It's just good science, dressed up in simple ingredients. Every morning he blended a small glass of beetroot juice, half a banana, a splash of pomegranate, and just a pinch of cayenne. That's it. 4 ingredients. But what they do together is remarkable. Beets are rich in nitrates, which your body turns into nitric oxide, a compound that opens blood vessels and restores healthy flow. Pomegranate is loaded with antioxidants that support circulation and protect those very vessels from stiffening. Bananas provide potassium, which balances blood pressure and supports smooth muscle function. And cayenne, that little kick, helps increase circulation even more, giving your blood a gentle push in the right direction. He started drinking it every morning, just after waking up. No skipping, no guesswork, just a small, consistent act of self-respect. And by week 2, something began to change. Not all at once, but subtly. He told me he started waking with more energy, Not just the kind you feel in your legs, but the kind you feel down there too. His wife? She noticed before he did. Now, did Raymond suddenly become a teenager again? But did he regain his confidence, his connection, his steadiness? Absolutely. And more importantly, he started looking at himself differently. That quiet sense of shame started to lift, replaced with something steadier, something earned. The recipe was the spark, but it wasn't the full fire, because if you want to rebuild true strength, true masculine energy, it takes more than one habit. It takes relearning how to listen to your body and give it what it's quietly been asking for. That doesn't mean turning your life upside down. In fact, I always tell my patients, start small, but be serious. There's a short list of daily anchors I give to men like Raymond, and they're always surprised by how simple they are. A 15-minute morning walk. That's it. Every day, rain or shine. Why? Because walking in natural light boosts your testosterone, improves insulin sensitivity, and lowers your stress hormones. It also moves your hips, your spine, your circulation, all of which support performance where it counts. It's not just about getting steps in. It's about telling your body, I'm awake, I'm here, let's move. Next, cold water. Not a full ice bath, don't worry. Just finish your warm shower with 30 seconds of cool water. That simple act causes your blood vessels to contract and expand, making them more responsive and resilient. It trains your body to regulate itself under pressure, literally. And over time, that translates to better blood flow where it matters most. And then there's breathing. Most of us breathe like we're in a rush, shallow, from the chest, but deep, diaphragmatic breathing, even just 5 minutes a day, activates your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of your body that calms you, regulates your heart rate, improves sleep, and yes, supports stronger intimacy. Each of these habits alone is a small nudge. Together, they begin to shift your baseline. You're not just hoping for better days, you're building them, one choice at a time. I'll never forget the day Raymond came in for his follow-up. He walked differently. He held his shoulders a little higher. He spoke with fewer pauses. And the best part? He didn't lead with numbers or symptoms. He said, Doc, I feel like I'm driving my own body again. That's what I want for you. Not just harder mornings or stronger nights, but a steadier sense of self. The kind of quiet confidence that doesn't need to be advertised because you carry it in your spine, your voice, your presence, and we're just getting started. Because once you understand what your body is capable of and how easily it can be coaxed back into vitality, there's so much more I want to show you. In the second half of this journey, we'll go deeper into the science, the emotional side, and the long-term blueprint that turns these sparks into lasting fire. But for now, sit with this. You are not broken. You're just out of rhythm. And with the right tools, that rhythm can return, stronger, steadier, and more honest than ever before. Now that we've kindled the spark, it's time to deepen the fire. Because vitality, true vitality, is not a momentary flicker, but a steady flame, fueled by more than just a morning ritual. It's built in the spaces between those small habits, in how you think about yourself and the future you want to create. This is where most men hesitate, not because they don't want it, but because the journey demands patience, and patience is often in short supply. Let me share something I've learned over the years. Our bodies and minds are deeply intertwined. The way you feel about yourself, your sense of worth, your connection to the life you've built can either tighten the grip of doubt or open the door to change. Many men I've worked with carry invisible burdens, a quiet voice inside that says, maybe I'm just too old for this. And that voice is the real enemy. It's not your body failing. It's your mind forgetting the power you still hold. Raymond, remember him? The man with the magical potion. After a few weeks, something remarkable happened. Not just physically, but emotionally. He started to believe again, not in miracles, but in himself. He told me one afternoon, almost sheepishly, Doc, I actually looked forward to going home, and not just for dinner. That simple sentence was a breakthrough. It meant he was reconnecting with the man he had always been, beneath the doubts and fears. So how does this work scientifically? What is it that makes this recipe more than just a drink? It's the way the ingredients work together to restore balance, especially the molecule nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is often called the body's natural vasodilator. What that means in plain language is it helps your blood vessels relax and widen, allowing more blood to flow easily. For men, this is crucial because the ability to achieve and maintain firmness depends largely on how well blood circulates to the right places. Unfortunately, as we age, our production of nitric oxide naturally declines. That's one reason why so many men notice their strength fading, their energy flagging. But it's not just nitric oxide. The nerves responsible for sending the go signal slow down, and hormone levels, especially testosterone, drop. Cortisol, the stress hormone, often rises, choking off energy and desire. It's a perfect storm. But here's the thing. All these factors respond to lifestyle, nutrition, and mindset. They're not set in stone. The beetroot in the drink I mentioned is a powerful natural source of nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide. Pomegranate acts as a shield, protecting blood vessels from oxidative damage. Cayenne spice triggers circulation by stimulating nerve endings. And potassium from bananas helps regulate muscle contraction and nerve function. This combination is like a gentle orchestra warming up after a long pause, coaxing your body back to life. But let's be honest, no drink or supplement will fix the deeper roots of vitality on its own. That's where lifestyle anchors come in. Those simple habits we touched on, walking, cold water, breathing, they're the training ground for your body's comeback. They teach your heart, blood vessels, and nervous system how to work together again, like tuning instruments before a concert. One of the most powerful habits is movement, especially walking in natural light. There's something primal about it. Your ancestors didn't have gyms or fancy equipment. They had to move to survive. Today, even a short daily walk sends messages to your brain to produce testosterone and improve circulation. It lowers stress hormones, which means more energy for intimacy and daily life. Raymond told me that on days he skipped his walk, he felt the difference. Not just in his body, but in his mood and motivation. Cold water might seem intimidating, but it's a simple nudge to your circulatory system. When you finish a shower with cold water, your blood vessels contract and then quickly dilate. This process improves vascular responsiveness and resilience, essential for maintaining firmness and energy. Think of it as a wake-up call for your veins and arteries, reminding them to stay flexible. And then there's the breath, a tool so simple it's often overlooked. Deep diaphragmatic breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms your body and lowers cortisol levels. This relaxation response is vital because stress is one of the greatest killers of desire and vitality. When you breathe deeply, you're telling your body it's safe to relax and open up, making it easier to perform and connect. But the journey is not just physical, it's profoundly emotional. When men like Raymond begin to reclaim their vitality, they also reclaim their confidence and sense of self. This isn't about chasing youth or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about embracing this season of life with dignity and strength, knowing that you still have plenty to offer to your partner, your family, and most importantly, to yourself. In my practice, I often say that men aren't diminished by age, they're deepened by it. The wisdom, experience, and resilience that come with decades are powerful allies. You learn that strength isn't always loud or fast. Sometimes it's quiet and steady, like the slow, sure return of the tide. That's the kind of strength that lasts. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Picture waking up with a sense of purpose, not dread. Imagine looking in the mirror and recognizing the man staring back, not because he's unchanged, but because he's connected to his body and mind again. Picture the simple pleasure of sharing intimacy without anxiety, without the shadow of disappointment. That's the promise I see in every man willing to take the first step. So what comes next? The answer is simple but profound. Commitment. Commitment to the small things. The morning drink, the walk, the cold rinse, the breath. Commitment to yourself. No one else can do this for you. But you don't have to do it all at once. Start with one habit. Build on it slowly. Celebrate every small victory. Remember Raymond, who began by choosing one morning drink, then added a walk, then a breath exercise. Each step made him stronger, not just physically, but emotionally. And as your body responds, so will your mind. You'll find the voice inside, the one that says, "I am still here. I am still strong." That voice will grow louder, clearer, until it drowns out the doubt. I want to share one last thing, something I tell every man who walks through my door. Vitality is not a finish line. It's a lifelong dance. Some days the steps are quick and sure. Others they're slow and careful. And that's okay. What matters is that you keep moving. You are not broken. You are not fading. You are a man who has lived, who has fought, who has loved, and who still has strength left to give. It might not come as fast as the ads promise. It might not be instant or effortless, but it will come if you nurture it. If you take nothing else away from this video, remember this: the power to reclaim your vitality is in your hands, not in a bottle, not in a pill, but in the choices you make every day. The magical recipe is just a start, a symbol of the larger journey toward respect, care, and love for your own body. I invite you to try the drink, try the walk, try the breath. Give yourself 2 weeks. Watch how your body begins to respond, how your mind begins to clear. Then take the next step. And if you ever feel doubt creeping in, remember Raymond's words, "I feel like I'm driving my own body again." That's the feeling waiting for you. This is Dr. Alan Mercer reminding you that strength, dignity, and vitality aren't just memories of the past. They're possibilities for today, tomorrow, and every day after. Your body remembers how to be alive. It only takes a few seconds, one choice at a time, to awaken it. So let's begin.